Question 1. What are the key differences between the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights 1689? A. Only the Magna Carta established the monarchy. B. The Magna Carta focused on common law, the Bill of Rights on statute law. C. The Magna Carta granted rights to all citizens, the Bill of Rights only to nobles. D. The Magna Carta limited the king's power, the Bill of Rights expanded parliamentary power. Answer: D. The Magna Carta limited the king's power, the Bill of Rights expanded parliamentary power. The Magna Carta was primarily about limiting the power of the king, whereas the Bill of Rights 1689 expanded the powers of Parliament. Question 2. How did the Glorious Revolution of 1688 change the political landscape of England? A. It introduced a democratic electoral system. B. It established the principles of constitutional monarchy. C. It abolished the monarchy. D. It declared England an independent nation. Answer: B. It established the principles of constitutional monarchy. The Glorious Revolution resulted in the affirmation of parliamentary supremacy and laid the groundwork for a constitutional monarchy. Question 3. Which treaty established the union between England and Scotland? A. The Treaty of Edinburgh. B. The Treaty of Union. C. The Treaty of Paris. D. The Treaty of Versailles. Answer: B. The Treaty of Union. The Treaty of Union in 1707 officially united the kingdoms of England and Scotland under the name of Great Britain. Question 4. What was the primary purpose of the Corn Laws in the 19th century? A. To regulate the import and export of corn. B. To increase domestic grain production. C. To protect British landowners by imposing tariffs on grain imports. D. To subsidize the agriculture sector. Answer: C. To protect British landowners by imposing tariffs on grain imports. The Corn Laws were designed to protect British agriculture from cheaper foreign imports of grain. Question 5. How did the Reform Acts of the 19th and early 20th centuries expand the electorate? A. By lowering the voting age to 18. B. By allowing all men and women to vote. C. By gradually extending the vote to more men and eventually women. D. By removing all property requirements for voting. Answer: C. By gradually extending the vote to more men and eventually women. These acts progressively expanded the electorate, culminating in near-universal suffrage. Question 6. What led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland in 1801? A. The defeat of the French at Waterloo. B. The signing of the Acts of Union 1800. C. The end of the English Civil War. D. The agreement in the Treaty of Edinburgh. Answer: B. The signing of the Acts of Union 1800. This legislative agreement led to the merger of the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into a single state. Question 7. What were the main causes and consequences of the English Civil War? A. The war was caused by religious differences, leading to the establishment of Protestantism. B. It was caused by power struggles between Parliament and the monarchy, leading to a temporary republic. C. The war was a result of economic disputes, resulting in improved trade laws. D. It stemmed from territorial conflicts with Scotland, resulting in new borders. Answer: B. It was caused by power struggles between Parliament and the monarchy, leading to a temporary republic. The English Civil War was primarily about the governance and power dynamics, culminating in the execution of Charles I and the establishment of the Commonwealth. Question 8. What role did Britain play in the partition of India in 1947? A. Britain facilitated the partition into two independent nations, India and Pakistan. B. Britain opposed the partition and worked to keep India united. C. Britain had no role in the partition. D. Britain supported the creation of multiple independent states. Answer: A. Britain facilitated the partition into two independent nations, India and Pakistan. The British government played a central role in the partition that led to the creation of India and Pakistan as separate states. Question 9. Describe the impact of the Industrial Revolution on British urbanization. A. It slowed down urban growth due to agricultural advancements. B. It led to the decline of urban centres. C. It significantly accelerated the growth and development of cities. D. It had little impact on urbanization. Answer: C. It significantly accelerated the growth and development of cities. The Industrial Revolution drove massive population movements from rural to urban areas for employment in new industries. Question 10. How did the Battle of Trafalgar influence British naval power? A. It weakened British naval dominance. B. It confirmed British naval supremacy for over a century. C. It led to Britain losing several colonies. D. It resulted in Britain adopting a defensive naval strategy. Answer: B. It confirmed British naval supremacy for over a century. The victory at Trafalgar in 1805 was decisive, ensuring British control over the seas. Question 11. What was the significance of the Battle of Agincourt in 1415? A. It ended the 100 Years' War. B. It marked the beginning of the English Renaissance. C. It was a major English victory in the 100 Years' War. D. It resulted in the loss of English territories in France. Answer: C. It was a major English victory in the 100 Years' War. The battle is noted for the use of the English longbow, which was pivotal in the victory. Question 12. How did the Black Death affect the social and economic structure of medieval England? A. It led to a stronger feudal system. B. It caused a significant decline in the population, leading to labour shortages and higher wages. C. It resulted in improved healthcare systems. D. It had minimal impact on social structures. Answer: B. It caused a significant decline in the population, leading to labour shortages and higher wages. The Black Death dramatically reduced the population, which altered the economic and social landscape by increasing the bargaining power of the peasantry. Question 13. What was the principal outcome of the Acts of Union 1707? A. The formal unification of England and Wales. B. The creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. C. The independence of Scotland. D. The division of Ireland. Answer: B. The creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. The Acts of Union 1707 merged the parliaments of England and Scotland, forming a single Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 14. Who were the Chartists and what did they advocate for? A. A political group that sought to abolish the monarchy. B. Reformers who pushed for universal male suffrage and parliamentary reform. C. Economists who wanted to eliminate the Corn Laws. D. Military leaders seeking to expand the British Empire. Answer: B. Reformers who pushed for universal male suffrage and parliamentary reform. The Chartists were a working-class movement in the 19th century that sought significant electoral reforms. Question 15. What was the significance of the Great Exhibition of 1851? A. It marked the end of the Industrial Revolution. B. It was a display of Britain's colonial power. C. It was the first international exhibition of manufactured products. D. It led to the establishment of new trade routes. Answer: C. It was the first international exhibition of manufactured products. The Great Exhibition showcased innovations from the Industrial Revolution and was held in the Crystal Palace in London. Question 16. How did the Suez Crisis of 1956 affect Britain's international standing? A. It enhanced Britain's influence in the Middle East. B. It demonstrated the strength of the British military. C. It marked a significant decline in British imperial power. D. It led to increased American investment in Britain. Answer: C. It marked a significant decline in British imperial power. The crisis highlighted Britain's diminished role on the world stage and strained Anglo-American relations. Question 17. Detail the main outcomes of the Treaty of Utrecht, 1713. A. It ended the War of the Spanish Succession. B. It began the War of the Austrian Succession. C. It expanded the British Empire in Africa. D. It established the League of Nations. Answer: A. It ended the War of the Spanish Succession. The treaty marked the end of hostilities and redefined European state boundaries, diminishing Spanish power and enhancing British naval and colonial supremacy. Question 18. What are the legal principles behind the establishment of the UK Supreme Court in 2009? A. To create a separation of powers and enhance the independence of the judiciary. B. To strengthen the role of the monarchy in legal matters. C. To centralise all legal proceedings in London. D. To diminish the role of the House of Lords in legal matters. Answer: A. To create a separation of powers and enhance the independence of the judiciary. The establishment of the UK Supreme Court was part of a constitutional reform to separate the judicial function from the House of Lords. Question 19. Explain the ramifications of the Statute of Westminster 1931. A. It granted full legislative independence to the dominions of the British Empire. B. It repealed all existing statutes within the British Empire. C. It established the Commonwealth of Nations. D. It declared war on Germany. Answer: A. It granted full legislative independence to the dominions of the British Empire. The statute marked a key point in the development of the nation-states that formed the Commonwealth, recognizing their autonomy. Question 20. What historical factors contributed to the establishment of the Commonwealth? A. The economic demands of the Industrial Revolution. B. The decolonization process following World War II. C. The desire for a united European front. D. The need for a collective defense strategy during the Cold War. Answer: B. The decolonization process following World War II. The transformation of the British Empire into the Commonwealth was significantly influenced by the political and social changes following the war, promoting a free association of independent countries. Question 21. How did the welfare state change after the Beveridge Report? A. It introduced universal basic income. B. It was dismantled in favor of private insurance. C. It expanded significantly to include healthcare, education, and social security. D. It focused solely on healthcare reform. Answer: C. It expanded significantly to include healthcare, education, and social security. The Beveridge Report led to major reforms in social insurance and welfare, laying the foundations for the modern welfare state. Question 22. What were the major political and economic reasons behind the decolonization process after World War II? A. Economic prosperity in Britain reduced the need for colonies. B. International pressure and the rise of nationalist movements in the colonies. C. The discovery of oil in the Middle East. D. The desire of the colonies to adopt communism. Answer: B. International pressure and the rise of nationalist movements in the colonies. Decolonization was largely driven by the unsustainable cost of maintaining the empire and the push for independence by nationalist movements within the colonies. Question 23. Detail the historical evolution of the British Parliament from the Magna Carta to modern day. A. From absolute monarchy to a fully democratic parliamentary system. B. From a feudal council to a bicameral legislature with an elected House of Commons. C. From a royal advisory body to a ceremonial institution with no real power. D. From a religious council to a secular legislative body. Answer. B. From a feudal council to a bicameral legislature with an elected House of Commons. British Parliament evolved from early advisory roles to the monarch into a complex legislative system with significant powers and democratic elements. Question 24. What were the primary reasons and outcomes of the Wars of the Roses? A. Religious conflict resulting in the strengthening of the Church of England. B. Dynastic wars for control of the throne, ultimately leading to the rise of the Tudor dynasty. C. Economic disputes that led to significant legal reforms. D. Territorial disputes with Scotland and France. Answer. B. Dynastic wars for control of the throne, ultimately leading to the rise of the Tudor dynasty. The Wars of the Roses were a series of civil wars for control of the English throne, fought between the houses of Lancaster and York. Question 25. Explain the causes and effects of the Highland clearances. A. Agricultural modernization that led to mass emigration and altered the cultural landscape of Scotland. B. Military actions that cleared the Highlands of feudal lords. C. Economic policies that aimed to industrialize Scotland rapidly. D. Religious reforms that sought to eradicate traditional Scottish practices. Answer. A. Agricultural modernization that led to mass emigration and altered the cultural landscape of Scotland. The Highland clearances involved the eviction of many tenants in the Scottish Highlands, largely to make way for sheep farming, resulting in significant migration and changes in Scottish society. Question 26. What were the contributing factors and significant impacts of the Enclosure Acts? A. They allowed for the expansion of urban areas, decreasing farmland. B. They consolidated small landholdings into larger farms, increasing agricultural efficiency but displacing many rural poor. C. They privatized all public lands, leading to widespread poverty. D. They deregulated land ownership, resulting in chaotic land disputes. Answer. B. They consolidated small landholdings into larger farms, increasing agricultural efficiency but displacing many rural poor. The Enclosure Acts transformed the landscape of rural England, promoting modern farming practices at the expense of traditional communal land use. Question 27. Describe the changes in the role of the monarchy from Queen Victoria to the present. A. From executive rulers to purely ceremonial figures without any political power. B. From elected positions to hereditary roles. C. From religious leaders to secular figures. D. From public figures to private citizens. Answer. A. From executive rulers to purely ceremonial figures without any political power. Over time, the British monarchy has transitioned from wielding significant political power under Queen Victoria to serving as symbolic figures with ceremonial duties in contemporary times. Question 28. What role did Britain play in the creation of the State of Israel? A. Britain opposed the creation of Israel and supported Arab states. B. Britain played a neutral role and did not influence the process. C. Britain facilitated the process through the Balfour Declaration and subsequent Mandate administration. D. Britain directly governed the region as a part of its empire until Israel's independence. Answer. C. Britain facilitated the process through the Balfour Declaration and subsequent mandate administration. The Balfour Declaration issued by Britain in 1917 supported the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, which was then under British administration. Question 29. How has British immigration policy evolved from the 1950s to today? A. It has remained constant with open borders. B. It has shifted from an open-door policy to more restrictive measures. C. It became increasingly liberal, allowing more immigrants each year. D. It focused exclusively on European immigrants. Answer. B. It has shifted from an open-door policy to more restrictive measures. British immigration policy has become increasingly stringent, reflecting changing economic conditions, political pressures, and social attitudes. Question 30. What was the impact of the English Reformation on the church and state relationship? A. It weakened the authority of the church significantly by establishing a state-controlled church. B. It eliminated the church's influence over the state. C. It strengthened the Catholic Church's role in government. D. It led to the merger of church and state into a single entity. Answer. A. It weakened the authority of the church significantly by establishing a state-controlled church. The English Reformation, led by Henry VIII, resulted in the establishment of the Church of England, reducing the power of the Catholic Church and increasing state control over religious matters. Question 31. What was the role of the British East India Company in the expansion of the British Empire? A. It acted as a cultural exchange program. B. It served purely as a trading entity without any political role. C. It played a pivotal role in establishing British control over India through trade and conquest. D. It was a minor player in the overall expansion of the British Empire. Answer. C. It played a pivotal role in establishing British control over India through trade and conquest. The British East India Company was instrumental in the expansion of British territories in India, functioning as both a commercial enterprise and a governing body. Question 32. How did the Great Fire of London influence architectural changes in the city? A. It led to the adoption of Gothic architectural styles. B. It resulted in stricter building regulations and the development of fire-resistant materials. C. It had no significant impact on architectural styles. D. It prompted a return to wooden construction. Answer. B. It resulted in stricter building regulations and the development of fire-resistant materials. After the Great Fire of 1666, London saw significant architectural changes, including the use of more durable materials like brick and stone. Question 33. What are the origins and significance of the Speaker's role in the House of Commons? A. The Speaker was originally a royal representative to oversee the Commons. B. The Speaker emerged as a mediator for disputes among the nobility. C. The role was created to provide legal counsel to MPs. D. It originated as a position to manage parliamentary funds. Answer. A. The Speaker was originally a royal representative to oversee the Commons. Over time, the role evolved into an impartial presiding officer responsible for maintaining order during debates and representing the Commons to the monarchy. Question 34. What was the purpose and impact of the Marshall Plan on post-war Britain? A. It aimed to rebuild British military forces. B. It provided significant American economic aid to help rebuild European economies, including Britain's. C. It was intended to increase American cultural influence in Britain. D. It facilitated British colonies' independence. Answer. B. It provided significant American economic aid to help rebuild European economies, including Britain's. The Marshall Plan was crucial in aiding the recovery of European countries after World War II, bolstering the economy and helping to prevent the spread of communism. Question 35. How did the Troubles in Northern Ireland begin, and what were the key events? A. It began as a conflict over economic disparities. Key events include the Good Friday Agreement. B. It started with the partition of Ireland. Key events include Bloody Sunday and the Belfast Agreement. C. It was initially a religious conflict. Major events include the Easter Rising and the Armistice. D. It originated from a dispute over the Irish language. Significant events include the St. Andrews Agreement. Answer. B. It started with the partition of Ireland. Key events include Bloody Sunday and the Belfast Agreement. The Troubles involved complex socio-political conflicts marked by violent incidents and significant political negotiations leading to the peace process. Question 36. What are the legal and social implications of the Human Rights Act 1998 in modern Britain? A. It restricted the rights and freedoms of individuals. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, strengthening the protection of individual rights. C. It led to the UK withdrawing from the European Convention on Human Rights. D. It primarily affected the rights of corporations. Answer. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, strengthening the protection of individual rights. The Act made it easier for individuals to defend their rights in UK courts and required public bodies to treat everyone equally, with fairness, dignity, and respect. Question 37. Detail the evolution of the British class system from the feudal era to the 20th century. A. It transformed from a rigid feudal structure to a more flexible social structure influenced by wealth and education. B. It disappeared completely by the mid-20th century. C. It became more rigid, with clearer distinctions between classes. D. It reverted to a feudal system after World War II. Answer. A. It transformed from a rigid feudal structure to a more flexible social structure influenced by wealth and education. Over centuries, the British class system evolved significantly, especially with the rise of the middle class during the Industrial Revolution and changes in social mobility. Question 38. What was Britain's role in the transatlantic slave trade and its abolition? A. Britain was a minor participant and had little impact on its abolition. B. Britain was initially one of the major slave trading nations, but later became a leader in the abolition movement. C. Britain exclusively traded slaves with the American colonies. D. Britain's role was limited to transporting slaves from Africa to South America only. Answer. B. Britain was initially one of the major slave trading nations, but later became a leader in the abolition movement. Britain played a significant role in both the promotion and the abolition of the slave trade, with the Slave Trade Act 1807 marking the end of its involvement. Question 39. Explain the economic impact of Britain's decision to leave the gold standard in 1931. A. It led to immediate economic collapse. B. It allowed more flexibility in monetary policy, which helped mitigate the effects of the Great Depression. C. It tied the pound directly to the US dollar. D. It increased reliance on gold reserves. Answer. B. It allowed more flexibility in monetary policy, which helped mitigate the effects of the Great Depression. Leaving the gold standard gave Britain more control over its economy during a time of global economic instability. Question 40. What were the main reasons for the introduction of the national minimum wage? A. To control inflation. B. To reduce government spending on welfare. C. To address income inequality and ensure a basic living standard for all workers. D. To increase tax revenues. Answer: C. To address income inequality and ensure a basic living standard for all workers. The national minimum wage was introduced to help reduce poverty and provide fair wages for lower-income workers. Question 41. How did the Falklands War of 1982 affect British political life? A. It led to significant anti-war protests that changed government policies. B. It resulted in a major shift in foreign policy towards South America. C. It bolstered national pride and the government's popularity due to the military victory. D. It caused a political scandal that led to a change in leadership. Answer: C. It bolstered national pride and the government's popularity due to the military victory. The successful defence of the Falkland Islands reaffirmed Britain's commitment to defending its territories and boosted the Thatcher government's standing. Question 42. What was the significance of the Beveridge Report in shaping post-war Britain? A. It proposed reforms that laid the foundations for the modern welfare state. B. It led to the dismantling of the welfare state. C. It focused exclusively on healthcare reforms. D. It was a military strategy report. Answer: A. It proposed reforms that laid the foundations for the modern welfare state. The Beveridge Report of 1942 identified 5 giants on the road to reconstruction, which were want, disease, ignorance, squalor, and idleness, leading to the expansion of state welfare. Question 43. How did the British government respond to the economic crisis of the 1970s? A. By joining the European Economic Community to access new markets. B. By imposing strict wartime rations. C. By adopting a policy of complete economic isolation. D. By shifting entirely to a planned economy. Answer: A. By joining the European Economic Community to access new markets. The UK sought economic stability and growth by joining the EEC in 1973, which was seen as a way to secure economic advantages through larger markets. Question 44. What were the consequences of the British agricultural revolution on the rural populace? A. It decreased the rural population due to urban migration. B. It increased the wealth of the rural populace uniformly. C. It had no significant effects on the rural populace. D. It increased land ownership among rural labourers. Answer: A. It decreased the rural population due to urban migration. The agricultural revolution led to increased productivity, but also resulted in fewer labourers needed on the land, pushing many to migrate to urban areas for work. Question 45. What was the impact of Margaret Thatcher's policies on the British economy? A. They led to immediate economic decline. B. They reduced public expenditure, privatised state-owned enterprises, and reduced the power of trade unions. C. They focused on large-scale public sector investments. D. They eliminated poverty in Britain. Answer: B. They reduced public expenditure, privatised state-owned enterprises, and reduced the power of trade unions. Thatcher's economic policies, known as Thatcherism, aimed to reduce the role of the state and foster a free market. Question 46. Detail the progression of women's rights in Britain from the early 20th century to the present. A. Women's rights regressed significantly until the 21st century. B. There were no significant changes in women's rights until the 2000s. C. Women achieved the right to vote, equal pay, and increased political representation. D. Women's rights movements dissolved after achieving the right to vote. Answer: C. Women achieved the right to vote, equal pay, and increased political representation. Women's rights in Britain have progressively advanced, from winning suffrage in the early 20th century to achieving broader equality and representation in all aspects of society. Question 47. How has the concept of British national identity evolved since World War II? A. It has become increasingly homogeneous. B. It has become less inclusive and more focused on historical identities. C. It has diversified, reflecting a broader multicultural society. D. It has remained static and unchanged. Answer. C. It has diversified, reflecting a broader multicultural society. Since World War II, British national identity has increasingly embraced diversity due to immigration and changing societal values. Question 48. What legal reforms occurred in the UK as a result of joining, then leaving, the European Union? A. The legal system was entirely overhauled to match EU laws, then reverted back to pre-EU laws. B. Laws were adapted to comply with EU regulations, and subsequent reforms sought to ensure UK laws aligned with national interests post-Brexit. C. UK laws were unaffected by EU membership and Brexit. D. The UK adopted the euro, then reverted to the pound sterling. Answer. B. Laws were adapted to comply with EU regulations, and subsequent reforms sought to ensure UK laws aligned with national interests post-Brexit. Membership in the EU required the UK to harmonise its laws with EU directives, which were then reviewed and adjusted following Brexit. Question 49. What are the historical origins and purposes of the Privy Council? A. It was originally a group of personal advisers to the monarch. Now it mainly functions as a ceremonial body. B. It was established to oversee the judicial system exclusively. C. It was formed to manage colonial affairs. T. It was created as a parliamentary body to counterbalance the monarchy's power. Answer. A. It was originally a group of personal advisers to the monarch. Now it mainly functions as a ceremonial body. The Privy Council has its roots in the royal court, where it once held substantial power, but today it primarily has formal and ceremonial functions. Question 50. Describe the evolution of the British public health system before the NHS. A. There was no public health system before the NHS. B. Voluntary hospitals and poor law infirmaries provided limited care, leading to the need for a comprehensive health service. C. The health system was entirely privatized. D. The system was world-leading and widely accessible before the NHS. Answer. B. Voluntary hospitals and poor law infirmaries provided limited care, leading to the need for a comprehensive health service. Before the NHS, healthcare in Britain was patchy and often unaffordable for many, leading to the establishment of the NHS in 1948 to provide healthcare to all citizens, funded by taxation. Question 51. How did the Jacobite uprisings shape the political landscape of Scotland and England? A. They had no significant impact. B. They led to the strengthening of the monarchy in Scotland. C. They contributed to the Act of Union and increased efforts to integrate Scotland into the United Kingdom. D. They resulted in Scotland gaining independence. Answer. C. They contributed to the Act of Union and increased efforts to integrate Scotland into the United Kingdom. The Jacobite uprisings were attempts to restore the Stuart monarchy and had profound effects, including legislative and cultural efforts to bind Scotland more closely with England. Question 52. What was the role of the British in the Opium Wars with China? A. Britain opposed the opium trade and fought to stop it. B. Britain fought to open China to international trade, including the opium trade. C. Britain was a minor participant and played no significant role. D. Britain supported China's efforts to eradicate opium use. Answer: B. Britain fought to open China to international trade, including the opium trade. The Opium Wars were two conflicts where Britain, seeking to balance trade deficits, resorted to military action to force China to allow the opium trade and open its ports to international merchants. Question 53. How did British policy in the Middle East shape the region's post-World War I geopolitical structure? A. Britain withdrew completely from the region, leaving it to self-govern. B. British mandates governed Palestine and Iraq, influencing the political boundaries and conflicts in the region. C. Britain's policies had little impact on the Middle East. D. Britain focused only on oil extraction, without influencing political structures. Answer: B. British mandates governed Palestine and Iraq, influencing the political boundaries and conflicts in the region. Post-World War I, British mandates under the League of Nations played crucial roles in shaping the modern political landscape of the Middle East. Question 54. What impact did the Victorian era have on the social and cultural development of Britain? A. It led to a decline in industrial growth and cultural expression. B. It was marked by significant social reforms, advances in industry, and a flourishing of British arts and culture. C. It focused exclusively on military expansion. D. Social and cultural aspects remained unchanged during this period. Answer: B. It was marked by significant social reforms, advances in industry, and a flourishing of British arts and culture. The Victorian era saw profound changes in society and culture driven by industrialization and a strong middle class. Question 55. What legal and societal changes followed the women's suffrage movement in the UK? A. Women gained the right to vote and gradually other civil rights, impacting various aspects of society, including work and education. B. The movement had little impact, with changes occurring much later. C. It resulted in immediate economic equality between genders. D. It led to the establishment of the monarchy. Answer: A. Women gained the right to vote and gradually other civil rights, impacting various aspects of society, including work and education. The suffrage movement was pivotal in changing legal and societal attitudes towards women in Britain. Question 56. How has the role of the British media evolved in shaping public opinion and policy? A. The media has remained a neutral body without influence. B. It has grown in influence, actively shaping and reflecting public opinion and political agendas. C. It has decreased in importance with the rise of digital media. D. The media's role has not changed since the 19th century. Answer: B. It has grown in influence, actively shaping and reflecting public opinion and political agendas. The British media has become a powerful entity in political and social spheres, influencing and being influenced by public and political dynamics. Question 57. What were the key factors leading to the formation of the union between Wales and England? A. The military conquest of Wales by England. B. Economic benefits realized by both countries. C. The mutual agreement to resist Scottish expansion. D. Cultural and linguistic similarities that facilitated union. Answer: A. The military conquest of Wales by England. The annexation and subsequent laws passed in the 16th century by Henry VIII integrated Wales into the English legal system, forming a more unified state. Question 58. Describe the impact of the Chartist movement on British democratic reforms. A. It led to the immediate implementation of all its demands. B. Although initially unsuccessful, it set the stage for future electoral and social reforms. C. It resulted in the temporary suspension of democratic processes. D. It shifted the focus of reform movements to solely economic issues. Answer: B. Although initially unsuccessful, it set the stage for future electoral and social reforms. The Chartist movement was crucial in highlighting the need for reform and influenced later changes in the British electoral system. Question 59. How did the UK's relationship with its colonies change after World War II? A. It strengthened, with more colonies being added. B. It remained unchanged until the late 20th century. C. It began to dissolve, leading to the independence of many colonies. D. It transitioned to a more military-focused approach. Answer: C. It began to dissolve, leading to the independence of many colonies. Post-World War II, the process of decolonization accelerated as many British colonies gained independence, reflecting changing global attitudes and economic realities. Question 60. Detail the significance of the Battle of Britain in World War II. A. It was a minor skirmish with little impact on the war's outcome. B. It marked the first major defeat of Germany's air force and prevented a German invasion. C. It resulted in Britain negotiating peace with Germany. D. It led to Britain's withdrawal from the war. Answer: B. It marked the first major defeat of Germany's air force and prevented a German invasion. The Battle of Britain was a crucial turning point in World War II, demonstrating Britain's resilience and strategic defense capability. Question 61. What were the implications of the Wind of Change speech by Harold Macmillan? A. It signalled Britain's commitment to maintaining its colonial territories. B. It acknowledged the inevitable decolonization and the need for Britain to adapt its foreign policies. C. It called for an increase in military spending to suppress independence movements. D. It was a plea to the United States for economic support. Answer: B. It acknowledged the inevitable decolonization and the need for Britain to adapt its foreign policies. Harold Macmillan's Wind of Change speech recognized the growing national consciousness in Africa and the shift towards independence among Britain's colonies. Question 62. How did the introduction of the euro affect the UK economically and politically? A. It led to the UK adopting the euro as its primary currency. B. It caused immediate economic decline in the UK. C. The UK chose not to adopt the euro, which continued to fuel debates about its relationship with the EU. D. It strengthened the UK's economic ties with Asia. Answer: C. The UK chose not to adopt the euro, which continued to fuel debates about its relationship with the EU. The decision not to join the Eurozone was significant for the UK's economic policy and its subsequent interactions with the European Union. Question 63. What are the main reasons behind the recent Scottish independence movements? A. Economic disparities between Scotland and the rest of the UK. B. The discovery of oil reserves in Scotland. C. Political and cultural differences, particularly after the Brexit vote. D. The imposition of English as the official language. Answer: C. Political and cultural differences, particularly after the Brexit vote. The movement for Scottish independence has been driven by a desire for greater autonomy and was intensified by Scotland's majority vote to remain in the EU in contrast to the overall UK Brexit vote. Question 64. What was the impact of the discovery of North Sea oil on the UK economy? A. It had minimal impact as the oil was quickly depleted. B. It significantly boosted the UK's economy by providing an important domestic energy source and export revenue. C. It led to severe environmental damage, outweighing economic benefits. D. It increased dependence on foreign oil Answer: B. It significantly boosted the UK's economy by providing an important domestic energy source and export revenue. The discovery of North Sea oil in the late 20th century had a transformative effect on the UK's energy policy and economic stability. Question 65. Explain the significance of the Good Friday Agreement in resolving the Northern Ireland conflict. A. It was a minor agreement that had little effect on the conflict. B. It formalised the division of Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. C. It was a major peace agreement that helped to end decades of conflict and established a power-sharing government. D. It involved Northern Ireland becoming independent from the UK. Answer: C. It was a major peace agreement that helped to end decades of conflict and established a power-sharing government. The Good Friday Agreement of 1998 was pivotal in bringing about a cessation of hostilities and laying the groundwork for political cooperation in Northern Ireland. Question 66. How has the interpretation of British multiculturalism changed in the 21st century? A. It has become synonymous with the loss of British identity. B. It has shifted towards a more inclusive and celebrated aspect of British society. C. It has been legally banned. D. It is no longer a topic of significant discussion. Answer: B. It has shifted towards a more inclusive and celebrated aspect of British society. British multiculturalism in the 21st century has evolved to be seen as a positive reflection of a diverse society, although it remains a complex and sometimes contentious issue. Question 67. What were the main economic policies during the Blair administration? A. There was a focus on significant privatisation and reduction of public services. B. Policies centred on heavy industrialisation. C. Key policies included strengthening the welfare state, improving public services, and embracing globalisation. D. The main policy was the complete dismantling of the financial sector. Answer: C. Key policies included strengthening the welfare state, improving public services, and embracing globalisation. Tony Blair's government focused on modernising the economy through public sector reforms and greater integration into the global economy. Question 68. What are the legal frameworks governing immigration and asylum in the UK? A. The UK has no specific laws governing immigration or asylum. B. Laws are highly restrictive and allow no asylum seekers. C. UK immigration laws are framed by both domestic legislation and international agreements to manage immigration and provide asylum. D. Immigration and asylum are governed solely by EU laws. Answer: C. UK immigration laws are framed by both domestic legislation and international agreements to manage immigration and provide asylum. The UK has comprehensive laws that are influenced by international human rights frameworks and its own policy objectives. Question 69. How did the Brexit referendum of 2016 come about, and what were its immediate consequences? A. It resulted from a sudden decision by the Prime Minister with no prior indications, leading to immediate economic growth. B. The referendum was called following political pressures and a promise by the Prime Minister, leading to political and economic uncertainty. C. It was imposed by the EU, resulting in strengthened UK-EU relations. D. Brexit was a spontaneous public movement, resulting in the immediate resolution of all UK economic issues. Answer: B. The referendum was called following political pressures and a promise by the Prime Minister, leading to political and economic uncertainty. The Brexit vote in 2016 was a significant political event that led to years of negotiations and has had profound impacts on the UK's relationship with the EU and its internal unity. Question 70. What is the constitutional role of the monarchy in modern Britain's governance structure? A. The monarchy has absolute power over the government. B. The monarch is the head of government and responsible for policy decisions. C. The monarchy plays a largely ceremonial role with no direct involvement in government policy. D. The monarch has veto power over all parliamentary decisions. Answer: C. The monarchy plays a largely ceremonial role with no direct involvement in government policy. In modern Britain, the monarchy's role is primarily symbolic, with constitutional and representational duties but no governing authority.